To begin with, the media is calling what's happening a Generation Z revolt. What are the economic conditions like for young Nepalis? The World Bank says youth unemployment is over 20%, and that's astonishingly high. And newspapers today are reporting that somewhere between 4 lakh at the lower end and 8 lakh at the upper end, young Nepalis leave the country each year. What sort of economic pressure is this youthful generation under?
Well, lack of jobs. As simple as that. Because let me say that in today, Nepal's per capita GDP is about half of that of India's. India's per capita GDP in nominal terms is about $3,000. And in PPP terms, purchasing power parity terms, it would be about 4 times as much, roughly around $12,000. But in nominal terms, it's 3,000. Nepal's per capita in nominal terms is just below $1,500. And in purchasing power parity terms, it's about $5,500. So you can see that there is an enormous gap. So where would they go for finding employment? They would come to India, they would go to the Gulf, they would go to Southeast Asia, they would go to Korea, South Korea, and so on. So that's where they have been moving. I mean, it's basically the economics that has been driving it. And also, don't forget, I told you about the 10-year Maoist insurgency. And that was an enormously stagnant period economically. But more than anything else, I think it is also that when we look at the social media apps, now Nepal it's a mountainous country, and connectivity from one valley to the other and that kind of a thing is limited. So what happens is that these social media apps, particularly among the Gen Z, account for, that's how they get their news. That's how it helps them in their education, in their doing their studies, their homework. It is a source of communicating with their uncles or fathers or brothers or people who are outside, because there are about 5 million, 6 million Nepalese who are working outside. It is the means by which they get their remittances and organize that. So when you block en masse, so the impact of blocking these social media apps is much more than what perhaps you and I would be able to figure out unless we know that society and how vital the social media apps are.